I thought I'd shoot another video of my vintage, the semi-acoustic models that I've got from the John Hornby Skews brand, just to hopefully explain a few things relating to these guitars, maybe actually put them in amp so you can see what they actually sound like. Just to quickly run through the models again. This is the 590, which is the Casino lookalike, but it's different from the Casino in that it's got a centre block. Epiphone Casinos are actually hollow bodied, so this is actually looks like a Casino, but it actually sounds more like a Gibson ES335 with P90s. This particular period when I think that vintage were at their peak, between about 2010-2012, they had this flower motif on the headstock. Both that and the vintage branding name is in mother of pearl. All the later issues, i.e. within the last 3 or 4 years, have all been silkscreen. That's how you can tell, in my opinion, the best ones from the series of the semi-acoustics. These are all discontinued, these models. This is 555, and it's it's the 555 because it's got the things like obviously the vintage name with the mother of pearl, but it's got the binding around the headstock, it's got the block inlays and the gold hardware. This is the 535, again from this period, 2010-2012. You can tell this period because, as I say, they've got most of them have got the flower inlay there on the headstock. They've got the mother of pearl vintage branding. I noticed during this period the vintage in some cases is this size or bigger, goes right across the headstock. The models I've got are actually the vintage name branding is a bit smaller. This is the 12 string. They still make the 12 string, but it's with offsets, and it's a cherry red version. This version hasn't been made for about 8 years. They didn't make very many of them. Sounds very much like the Gibson it's copying, and it's the closest I've actually got in playing 12 strings, I think, to an original Gibson. In fact, not many people have made a semi-acoustic Gibson ES335 copy that I've ever seen. So the copies seem to be even rarer than the actual guitar, the Gibson guitar. So yeah, these are all still made. They still make, but semi-acoustics, John Hornby Skews, but they're known as the 500 series, and they've got offsets. They do a red one, they do a 12 string red one, they do a black one. I'm not sure if they do a sunburst one. I think they do, but not with P90s. They did do this version with offsets, but they don't make it at all now. You can tell these models because you look at the back of the headstock, as well as having the inlays. They've all got made in China badge. I think they're probably made in the Cork factory in China, Wilkinson tuning heads, but made in China. A lot of people say vintage guitars are made in Vietnam and Korea. Well, this batch, which I think is the best batch, was definitely made in China. They've all got made in China badges on the back of the headstock. You can see. So that's what you need to look out for. If it's not been taken off, hopefully it won't be. But yeah, just some vintage guitars have been made in Vietnam, and some have been made in Korea, but not this batch. 2010, 2012, 2013, and also, as I said, none of them have got the serial number on the headstock, which I think they've been putting serial numbers on the headstock, back of the headstock, since about 2013, 2000, maybe a bit earlier than that, 2012, but this batch, none of them have got serial numbers. It's normally at the back of the headstock at the top there, so again it's something to look out for. As I say, that in my opinion this is the best batch, hasn't got serial numbers. So just play a few things. That's the 590, the VSA 590 with the P90s. As I say, all of these guitars have got centre blocks. So that's the 555. Next guitar up is the 535 Cherry. All these guitars have got nice binding. I'd say the 555 has got binding around the headstock as well. See, it's a good paint job. You can actually see the wood underneath quite well, which is a light coat, which is always good to see. Excellent finishing on these cars. Wilkinson hardware. Considering how cheaply you can pick them up, this one cost me £220. The 555 cost me £155. The 590 cost me £230. All of them, when they were available about 8 or 9 years ago, were about £350. So you can get them about a third of the cost. Sorry, about 2/3 of the cost, or cheaper than they were available a few years back. Finally, the 12 string, which I haven't seen many videos, so quite a bit substantially more heavy as you would expect. I haven't seen very many videos of this guitar because they're so rare on YouTube. Sunburst 53512. Hope you like this video.